You don't have diabetes. Your blood work came back normal. Your doctor didn't flag anything. So your blood sugar must be fine. Right? Maybe not. Because one of the most common and consequential health problems in adults today develops silently, often for years, sometimes for decades, before it ever shows up on a standard lab report. And by the time it becomes obvious, the damage to your body has frequently been accumulating for a long time. Today we're going to talk about what that process actually looks like, why so many people miss it entirely, and what you can do right now, before a diagnosis ever enters the picture. When most people hear the words blood sugar, their mind goes immediately to one place: diabetes. And so if they don't have diabetes, or don't think they're at risk for it, they stop listening. But here is what medicine actually tells us. Blood sugar problems do not begin with diabetes. They begin long before that. Years before a diagnosis. Years before medication becomes necessary. Years before most people experience any symptoms they would recognize as significant. The path from a healthy metabolism to type 2 diabetes is not a cliff. It is a gradual slope, and most people are somewhere on that slope without knowing it. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, approximately 96 million American adults, that is more than 1 in 3, have prediabetes. And of those, roughly 80% don't know they have it. These are not people who are obviously unwell. These are people who look healthy, feel mostly fine, and whose routine lab work hasn't yet crossed the threshold that triggers a diagnosis. The reason this matters is simple. The damage that elevated blood sugar does to the body doesn't wait for a diagnosis to begin. It begins during the years when everything still looks normal on paper. One of the reasons early blood sugar dysfunction goes unaddressed for so long is that the symptoms it produces don't feel medical. They feel like life. Many adults experiencing early metabolic dysfunction describe a predictable set of experiences. A significant energy drop in the mid-afternoon, the kind that makes it hard to think clearly or stay motivated after lunch. Persistent hunger that returns quickly after eating, even after a full meal. Strong cravings for sugar or refined carbohydrates, particularly in the late afternoon or evening. Difficulty losing weight despite genuine effort. A foggy, sluggish quality to thinking that tends to be worst after meals. Poor concentration that they attribute to stress or not sleeping well enough. None of these symptoms are dramatic. None of them send a person to the emergency room. And that is precisely the problem, because they are easy to explain away. We blame aging. We blame our schedule. We blame the demands of work and family. We tell ourselves that feeling tired and foggy and constantly hungry is just what adult life is like. But here is what is important to understand. These experiences are common. They are not normal. Common and normal are not the same thing. And for a significant number of people, blood sugar instability is quietly contributing to all of them. Let's talk about what's actually happening inside your body, because once you understand the mechanism, the whole picture becomes much clearer. Every time you eat carbohydrates, whether that's bread, rice, fruit, pasta, or a sugary drink, your digestive system breaks those carbohydrates down into glucose, which enters your bloodstream. Your blood sugar rises. Your pancreas detects this and releases a hormone called insulin. Insulin's job is to act like a key. It travels to your cells and unlocks them, allowing glucose to move out of the bloodstream and into the cells, where it is used as energy. When this system is working well, blood sugar rises after a meal. Insulin brings it back down efficiently, and your energy stays relatively stable. The problem begins when this process is asked to repeat itself too many times, too frequently, over too long a period of time. When blood sugar spikes frequently, driven by a diet high in refined carbohydrates and processed foods, combined with physical inactivity, cells begin to respond less effectively to insulin's signal. They become, in a sense, less sensitive to the key. The pancreas compensates by producing more insulin to get the same result. Blood sugar stays elevated longer. Insulin levels stay elevated longer. And over time, the system becomes progressively less efficient. This state, where the body produces insulin but the cells don't respond to it as well as they should, is called insulin resistance. It is the metabolic foundation of prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. Research published in the journal Diabetes Care estimates that insulin resistance affects between 15 and 40% of the general adult population. Now, here is the part that surprises most people, and that has significant implications for how you think about your own health. Standard blood work typically includes a fasting blood glucose test, measuring your blood sugar after you haven't eaten for at least 8 hours, and an HbA1c test, which reflects your average blood sugar over the past 2 to 3 months. These are the primary tools most physicians use to screen for diabetes and prediabetes. But here is the limitation. These tests are snapshots. They capture your blood sugar in a controlled, fasted state. What they don't capture is how your blood sugar behaves throughout the day, how high it spikes after meals, how long it stays elevated, how efficiently your body brings it back down. A person with early insulin resistance may have fasting glucose and HbA1c values that fall within the normal range, and still be experiencing significant blood sugar variability throughout the day that is driving inflammation, fatigue, hunger, and long-term metabolic damage. Research using continuous glucose monitors has confirmed this. A 2018 study from Stanford University found substantial blood sugar variability even in individuals classified as metabolically healthy by conventional measures. Many of them experienced significant post-meal spikes that standard testing would never detect. Normal on paper does not always mean optimal in practice, and the gap between those two things is where silent metabolic damage occurs. If the consequences of blood sugar dysfunction were limited to the risk of eventually developing diabetes, that would be serious enough. But the reality is that blood sugar instability affects virtually every major system in the body. Energy is the most immediate connection. Your cells run on glucose. When glucose delivery is inefficient and blood sugar is unstable, your energy is unstable too, producing the crashes, the sluggishness, and the dependence on caffeine and sugar that so many adults accept as a normal part of their day. Inflammation is a deeper and more consequential connection. Chronically elevated blood sugar generates a process called glycation, where glucose molecules attach to proteins and fats in the body, generating compounds that trigger inflammatory responses. Chronic low-grade inflammation is now recognized as a major driver of cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and accelerated biological aging. Brain health is directly affected. The brain consumes roughly 20% of the body's total glucose supply, despite being only 2% of its weight. Blood sugar instability directly impairs cognitive function, concentration, and mood. Research published in the journal Neurology has found that higher blood sugar levels, even within the non-diabetic range, are associated with accelerated brain aging and increased risk of dementia. Heart health is also implicated. Insulin resistance is one of the central features of metabolic syndrome, a cluster of risk factors that significantly elevates cardiovascular disease risk. Blood sugar stability is not a niche concern for people with a diabetes diagnosis. It is one of the foundational variables of healthy aging. Because every major system in the body depends on efficient energy regulation, Most of the daily behaviors that drive blood sugar dysfunction don't feel dangerous. They feel normal, because for most people, they are simply habits that were never examined. Drinking calories. Sugary drinks, sodas, sweetened coffees, fruit juices, energy drinks deliver large amounts of rapidly absorbed sugar with no fiber, no protein, and no fat to slow absorption. The result is one of the fastest and highest blood sugar spikes you can produce. And because liquid calories don't register in the brain's hunger system the way solid food does, they are consumed on top of regular meals without reducing appetite. Eating ultra-processed foods as the dietary foundation. Ultra-processed foods are typically high in refined carbohydrates and low in fiber, the combination that produces the most rapid and significant blood sugar spikes. When these foods make up the majority of calorie intake, the blood sugar system is under near constant demand. Skipping protein. Protein significantly slows the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates, blunting the blood sugar spike that follows a meal. Meals that are high in carbohydrates but low in protein produce much larger blood sugar responses than balanced meals. Staying sedentary. Muscle tissue is the primary site of glucose uptake during and after exercise. When muscle is inactive, glucose that enters the bloodstream after a meal has fewer places to go, and blood sugar stays elevated longer. Even a 10-minute walk after eating has been shown in multiple studies to meaningfully reduce post-meal blood sugar levels. Chronic poor sleep. A single night of insufficient sleep measurably reduces insulin sensitivity the following day. Research published in the Annals of Internal Medicine found that just 4 nights of sleep restriction reduced insulin sensitivity in healthy young adults by 16%. For people who are chronically undersleeping, this effect compounds. The good news, and this is genuinely good news, is that the metabolic system is highly responsive to change. Insulin sensitivity can improve significantly with consistent lifestyle modifications, and the research supporting this is robust. Here is where to start. Prioritize protein at every meal. Aim to include a meaningful source of protein: eggs, chicken, fish, legumes, Greek yogurt, at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Protein blunts blood sugar spikes, reduces hunger between meals, and supports the muscle mass that is critical for glucose regulation. Walk after eating. This is one of the simplest and most evidence-backed blood sugar interventions available. A 10 to 15-minute walk after meals activates muscle glucose uptake and meaningfully reduces post-meal blood sugar spikes. It doesn't require a gym or equipment. It requires only the decision to move. Eliminate liquid sugar. Replace sugary drinks with water, sparkling water, or unsweetened beverages. This single change removes some of the most disruptive blood sugar events of the average person's day. Build muscle through resistance training. Muscle is the body's primary glucose disposal system. Regular resistance training 2 to 3 times per week significantly improves insulin sensitivity and long-term metabolic health. You don't need to lift heavy weights. You need to challenge your muscles consistently. Protect your sleep. 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night is not a lifestyle luxury. It is a metabolic requirement. Sleep deprivation drives insulin resistance, increases hunger hormones, and makes every other healthy habit harder to sustain. Most people wait for a diagnosis before they start paying attention to their blood sugar. And that is understandable, because that is when the medical system typically gets involved. But health doesn't change the day you receive a diagnosis. It changes in the years and decisions that come before it. The trajectory is set long before the label appears. What that means is that the most powerful window for protecting your metabolic health is not after something goes wrong. It is right now, while the system is still responsive, while the changes are still relatively small, and while the interventions required are still within everyday reach. Your biology is not fixed. It responds. And every good decision you make today is one your future self will benefit from. Quietly, consistently, over time.